All right, good afternoon and welcome to Sports Talk right here on the family station, Love 101 FM. The name is Kathya Davis and I'll be your host. We do Sports Talk every week between the hours of 1 to 2 p.m. right here on the family station, Love 101 FM. You can also join me on Facebook and on YouTube at Love 101 FM Jamaica. And you can also download the Love 101 FM app in the App Store for or iPhone, i Apple users in the App Store, and of course for the Android users, it's in the Google Play Store. Love 101 FM Jamaica. You can also join the conversation on WhatsApp at 876-997-3125. Today is August 30, and we are inching our way to the World Championships. We're also inching our way to the beginning of the final round of the World Cup qualifiers. And that's coming up. The team was announced just yesterday by Coach Steve McLaren, and we'll hear a little bit more later in the show about our thoughts on the squad as well as was it a hit, is that miss, what is gonna happen, what are our chances really like, and who decide that they're not gonna come represent us even though we've gone through all the trouble to secure them a Jamaican passport and all of that. But lots and lots, I tell you, football in this country not short on drama. We also had the Diamond League finals happening in Zurich. Only one Jamaican winner, so we'll hear a little bit about that in our second segment. And then, of course, our third segment and fourth segment will be pretty much about the reggae boys and the games coming up, and all that jazz. But of course, because football is the talk of the town, we start, of course, with the English Premier League. So we do know the results of the games last weekend. So that would have been Saturday and Sunday. Well, Sunday and Monday. And then we'll give you the results of this morning and then the games that will come up. All right. So these are the results at the end of the week, or ending or the closing of round 2 in the English Premier League. So on Sunday, Arsenal, they would have defeated Leeds by 5-0. Crystal Palace and Nottingham Forest, they played to a 1-all draw. Everton, they defeated Brighton 2-0. Fulham and Manchester United played to a 1-all draw, while Liverpool defeated 10 men Newcastle 3-2. And that closed out round 2 rather. Coming into round 3 early this morning at 6:30 a.m. Chelsea, they were 2-0 winners over Fulham. Sunderland, they defeated Brentford 2-1. Everton defeated Wolves 3-2. Bournemouth, they defeated Tottenham 1-0. Manchester United, I think this is their first win for the season. They defeated Burnley 3-2, and it's currently 0-0 between Leeds and Newcastle. Games coming up tomorrow. Brighton, they will take on Manchester City. Nottingham Forest, they will take on West Ham. Liverpool and Arsenal, which is, I guess, the game of the round 3. And Aston Villa plays Crystal Palace. Looking at the point standings with just an average of 3 or 2 games played. So Chelsea having played 3 games, having won 2, drawn 1. They currently are at the top of the standings. Arsenal, Tottenham, Liverpool, they are second, third, and fourth. And then at the bottom of the standings, yet to get off to any winnings is West Ham. They've played 2 games so far. They have yet to find the winning formula. Wolves, they've played 3 games so far. They've yet to find the winning formula. And Brighton, having played 2 games, they've drawn 1 and lost 1. So that's the update as it relates to the English Premier League. And of course, we come to the local league. And of course, because we do have a little fancy dancy for the local league, when you hear this, you know we're about to talk about some Jamaica Premier League. All right, all right, all right. So, yes, this is now our time to update as to what's going on in the Jamaica Premier League. And boy, did the league start with a bang or what? The league definitely started with a bang, I mean, let me tell you. First of all, there's so many thoughts out there, but we'll just start with this. All right, we'll just start with this. So, the league would have started last week Sunday, or Sunday, right? Because that's the beginning of the week. Treasure Beach. So the newcomers, they had played each other to Treasure Beach. They defeated also newcomer Spanish Town Police by 2 goals to 0. Chapelton Maroons, they were 2-1 winners over Tivoli Gardens. Mount Pleasant, they and Montego Bay, they played to a 2-all draw. Waterhouse, they kicked off their season with a winning start with a 2-love win over Malines. Harborview and Cavalier, the defending champions, they finish 0-all on the scoreline. And Portmore, they defeated Neighbors. Can I say Neighbors? I mean, within the same vicinity. Dunby holding 2 goals to 0. And Racing. This is the result. This is the result. Monday, Racing defeated Arnett Gardens 5 goals to 1. And boy, I think that's probably the result. If I was to highlight a result of the week for the Jamaica Premier League, that would be it. I don't know. Arnett Gardens kind of looked a shadow of themselves. I don't know. I'm not so certain what's going on down there at Arnett Gardens, but we'll see how they will bounce back this week. Yeah, we'll see how they bounce back this week. As I tell you, as it relates to match week number 2, the games that will come up for match week number 2 in the Jamaica Premier League. So tomorrow, Harborview, they'll play Chapelton Maroons. That's a 3 o'clock kickoff of the doubleheader happening at the Stadium East. And the second game in that doubleheader would be Portmore United. They will play Tivoli Gardens. At Dumbly Holding, the Spanish Town Police FC will play Dumbly Holding. And at Drewsland Mini Stadium at 4 o'clock, Waterhouse, they will host Racing United. Monday football, I want to say Monday afternoon to Monday night football at Sabina Park. Arnett Gardens will play Cavalier FC, and there'll be a double header at the Catherine Hall Sports Complex. So first, Mount Pleasant will play Malines United at 5 o'clock. And then the second game in the doubleheader would see Montego Bay hosting, I'm not going to say newcomers, but their second time in the league. Montego Bay taking on Treasure Beach at 7:30 p.m. Yes, so that's what's happening this week in the Jamaica Premier League. So we've gotten the Jamaica Premier League, made its comeback, and the first week went well for some teams, didn't go so well for Running Gardens. Well, that's the result that stand out, as I said, to me for last week. But also, we would have seen news come out from the PFJL that Owen Hill has put in his resignation to the PFJL. That is supposed to take effect on September 29. We've seen where the chairman or outgoing chairman of the PFJL has asked for them not to accept his resignation. We'll see how that will unfold. Of course, we will keep you up to date as it relates to that situation. I think over the past week, Mr. Hill, and what I've seen how much across the social media areas, how much his input has meant or is meaning to the local league, and the impact that he has made and continues to make for the local league, and people not want him to go. I mean, we don't want him to go. As the CEO of the PFJL, definitely doing a fantastic job. But life happens, and sometimes you have to move on. We're just hoping that it's a delayed move on, right? Um, we're hoping that it's a delayed move on. It's not a right no move on, but it really depends. But the truth is that the work that has been done by the PFJL, led by Owen Hill, I mean, it's fantastic work that has been done and continues to be done. I mean, the league is definitely out of the ground and the gutters that the league was in, making the league marketable, and all these sponsors that sponsor the league, and the engagement of the communities, etc. It has really just been quite fantastic. So yeah, I mean, what else to say? You gotta give people their flowers, and he definitely deserves all the flowers I've been seeing happening on social media. Yeah, I mean, that's it for our first segment right here on Sports Talk. We're gonna go for our first break, and when we come back, we're gonna be talking some track and field. We will be right back.
The following is a paid announcement by the Jamaica Labour Party.
We create more jobs for Jamaicans, build road and better education. We make communities safer, ring the bell and go for labor. There is no party next to we, the greatest team in history. Jamaica Labour Party marching on to victory. We do so much already, now we doing more.
The proceeding was a paid announcement by the Jamaica Labour Party.
Juicy have the flavor pan party specialist still they pan top. Fresh baked with the crust flaker, plus breakfast, lunch and dinner for all.
The best inside and out, all the styles people just a rave about. Beef, chicken and shrimp, we veggie and plant-based without the meat.
Juicy have the flavor pan 45 years we still they pan top.
Get your favorite patties at Juicy Patty Stores Aisle on White. 45 years of serving serious Jamaican food.
Disasters are a reality. Prepare for any eventuality. Is what this season asks of we. Check your safety carefully before launching out to sea. We can't stop, but prepping is the key. We all have a responsibility to protect our lives and families, our homes and our communities. So turn your no into guess. Prepare our land to stand the test. Let's do this for Jamaica's best.
I'm not allowed to go anywhere by myself. They're afraid I will escape.
See how my other face bruise up? They beat me just because I said I'm tired.
Me not have no birth paper nor no ID. Them have all of my documents then.
Forced labor is one of the many forms of human trafficking. To report suspected cases of human trafficking, call 119, 211, 311 or the nearest police station. A message from the Ministry of National Security.
Mandeville, new location for Maxi Home Store, formerly Maxi Department Store. Now having 2 specialized stores in Sovereign Center, 5.5 Caledonia Road, Mandeville. Visit us at our new location, Maxi Home Store for furniture decor, and Axel & Co., which specializes in workwear and casual wear for men and women. See you at our new location, Maxi Home Store and Axel & Co.
stay cool this summer with Frigidaire and Panasonic in the Singer Summer Sale event. Frigidaire fridges and freezers are now at super low prices, so you can be cool and comfortable all summer long. And with up to 40% off bedroom sets and sectionals, you save big on furniture. Only Singer has 4 months for cash and 9 months no interest. Shop today. Offers end soon.
All right, welcome back to Sports Talk right here on the family station, Love 101 FM. All right, we are in our second segment and we are going to be going into some track and field. Now, the Wanda Diamond League series would have concluded yesterday in Zurich. And it was a 2-day meet in terms of the finals. We had one winner in terms of Jamaican winner in Akira Nugent. I think a lot of Jamaicans were looking forward to having or seeing, hoping that Tia Clayton would have won the women's 100 meter, and that would mean that she would have gotten an automatic entry or a wild card entry to next month's World Championship. And I think my guest is trying to join. We want to join with Kemal Ford, who is going to give us just a rundown of the Diamond League series. All right. Kemal, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. You hearing me?
Yeah, man, I'm hearing you loud and clear.
Perfect. So again, after basically since April, the Diamond League series has been, happening, various meetings across the world. Started in China and ended over there in Europe, in Switzerland. We saw many of our athletes were able to represent and get that final tune-up before the World Championship in less than 2 weeks' time, really. Good showing from our athletes overall. Wanted to see a lot more winners, a lot more, trophies and cash burn and everything. But Akira Nugent, I can say, was the standard performer for me from a Jamaican standpoint, in the sense that it's her first Diamond League win for the season. She dominated Grand Slam track and everything. To see her just win it at the most important time, should be a confidence boost heading into, I'd say, the most gruesome event in Tokyo, which is on day 3, actually, the World Championship. Good showing from the likes of Tia Clayton, really wanted her to get a wild card. But it was a good run from her. 10.84 is nothing to scoff at. Her second fastest time, coming back from injury. Credit to Julian Alfred as well, getting her first run in about 5 weeks. Was a quality lineup and everything. I'm hoping that in Tia Clayton's case, she's considered for a spot, for a wildcard spot for a relay spot, actually, for the women's 4-bound. Quality athlete, and Jamaica is in position, to fix a good team in order for us to go out there and get that gold medal. We saw Akeem Blake as well in the placing third in that 100 meters, 9.99 seconds. Really wanted him to get the spot, to win and get the wild card as well, because for sure that had he won, Raheem Ford more than likely would have been the fourth man added on that team. Jamaica sending a quality team to the World Championship. Just excited to see where, how these athletes will look in less than 2 weeks' time.
Right. Other than the Jamaicans, because we would have, well, other than the Jamaicans on the track, we also had some Jamaicans in the field. Talk to us about that, because I'm not sure if they actually lived up to the expectation we were hoping in terms of their performance. But talk to us about that.
Definitely. I mean, I can say that most of us are looking forward to see Jordan Scott in the season. Very successful, win the Diamond League and everything. Didn't go according to plan for me. Has been the most consistent athlete in the series. Was expecting to see what he would have done and everything. He still did well and everything. Yesterday, really wanted him to win. Still, still has a lot to work on, within 2 weeks' time. Shanika Ricketts as well. I can say of a lot of athletes, the travel from even Nakaka and competing there in Europe it's quite a lot. Like again, in Shanika's case, I can say that she did knock out the Sunday, then had to go over to Lausanne to compete no, in Brussels actually compete in Brussels and then compete again the week after. So travel and jet lag is in those legs, you know. So I don't think them not doing so well here isn't still like indicator of what they can do at worst, because I do think in everything be equal conditions with and everything, I think Jamaica can crop at least 2 medals, you know, over in the jumps in the men's and women's triple.
Yeah, definitely. All right. So now that the Diamond League is done and dusted, there were only a few people who were able to secure wildcard places, if any, because I mean there are lots of people who were looking forward to getting wildcard places and didn't happen for them. You want to talk to me about, I mean, we've spoken about Tia Clayton, but you want to talk to me about a few others?
Yeah, I mean, we know for sure that Jamaica and the US has had this rivalry for decades now. And you know, one person who actually wanted a wild card was that of Kendra Harrison. Kendra Harrison has been very dominant making a US team. You know, she unfortunately she was unable to get. I think it's her first. She missing her first team since 2015. You know, was looking forward to see if what Grace Start did as well in that 100 meters hurdles. You're looking at in the sense that of apart from Tia and everything, you're looking forward to see what and Akeem Blake would have done in there just to get that wild card spot. The men's 110 pretty tough in the US again. Grant Holloway having the wild card, so even no matter Cardell Tinch as the American one, which should be one to watch at Worlds. You know, basically diminish any chance of anyone getting a wild card for World Championship there. We saw on the positive side, we saw Ja'Cory Patterson winning the 400 meters, you know, getting himself a spot. He was already on the team for Tokyo, but getting his teammate Vernon Norwood the spot for World Championship, you know, which was a good moment to celebrate. We saw a very competitive race in the women's too, where Brittany Brown of the US fought tooth and nail for that win, you know, to edge the Natasha Smith or to book her spot, because we can remember that competitive 200 meters that Sunday at the US Championship where three women, third, fourth, and fifth, ran
At the
the
same time,
same time, and Brittany Brown was just
separated
at
by
fourth.
thousands. Right, right.
Yeah, Brittany Brown was just that fourth woman, and I just seeing her get that wild card, and it should be confidence boost, because you may never know. You know, we see these athletes getting these wild card, and you know, just that can be the additional boost for them to probably go there and make more the podium. We'll still be a competitive, which I'm looking forward to see, you know, how overall how everyone will perform. You know, it has been a long season. You know, some athletes have been competing from indoors until now, but how can they manage, you know, those 2-3 rounds in Tokyo?
Yeah, talk to me about your highlight performance. But before you, I'll take a comment. Caroline says it was going to be rough for Tia with Julian in superb form. Yeah, I agree. She says that she loved the win for Akira. But one thing that she has said, as I go to your what you think is the performance of the Diamond League finals, um, Nassar Salwa. Yes. In terms of her victory over Paulinia. Maybe you want to talk to us a little bit about the race and then tell me too what your highlight performance was.
All right, so we saw NASA competing in Lausanne, and she did look at herself in the ring. That meet was not necessarily the most favorable meet for the season. You know, we saw oblique winning and everything in the ring, but it was not ideal conditions. And NASA looked at night and day in Lausanne, and to see her come back and pull off Paulina to run like 48.70, which is in fact the second fastest time. She had the two fastest time heading into the World Championship. But that women's 400 meters will be a competitive race. If everyone shows up, it sounds crazy. It's crazy to say we might see somebody run 48 high, 48 9 thereabout and not on the podium, and that's unheard of. That has never happened before. And NASA is somebody who has always been there, done that, and has been in good shape all season. It will be a competitive race and a whole. I know for sure that Paulina will not take this lightly. She's going to do her homework and get back, because she's someone, you know, we saw her last in Kingston at Grand Slam and she went on a tear. Didn't lose anything until this one. Will this be added motivation for her? We may never know as well. And you know, I think the women's 400 meters is in a good place. If everyone shows up, it will potentially take all sub 50 to make that final. But I think my overall performance for the meet was actually Carson Warholm winning the 400-meter hurdles. Again, that man is very much confident. He's heading back to Tokyo again, the place where he broke the world record. I think he's in way better shape compared to 2021. So again, I'd say the big three with him and Bry Benjamin and Alessandro Santos, you know,
Right.
should be an event to watch. But I don't think the shape that he's in now, I don't see anyone that is going to beat him. If I've been envisioning this race in the sense that if all three of them come off the 10th together,
Yeah.
may the better man with the better finish wins. But Warm is my favorite, really.
Or home is your favorite?
Yeah.
My question to you: do you think he can do it from any lane other than lane 7?
I mean, I mean, the thing about it is now, Warholm is someone who is very much unpredictable because I think that if he gets anywhere, if he is sandwiched in the middle of probably like Benjamin and DeSantis, it is going to be crazy. Like if all three of them like line up against each other, even no matter what, like best believe if he gets lane 4, 5, 6, or 7, he's going to create some damage in Tokyo again. And it's just one of those things where I do believe that men's 400-meter hurdles running, it's kind of crazy. Like you see men running 47, 3 and not earning a medal. That's crazy.
That's crazy. Yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely. All right, let's talk about. I mean, I know it's still a little bit early in the season, but I want to go back to the Diamond League and what we can expect for some of these athletes. You're right. He said some of them they have been traveling across Europe, but in terms of overall, how does our team look in terms of Jamaica compared to everybody else? I mean, are we looking like we're like everybody's rounding into form? Some of them haven't started their season late, which is I think is a good thing. Some of them, like Akira, she would have started her season, taking a break, coming back, looks as if she's rounding back into form again. Just take me through that process of what you think overall of where the team is.
I think Jamaica looks good as a collective this season in the sense that one of the things that we're having this debate on social media saying that, oh, why Jamaica trials kept so early and everything like that. And it has been proven that, hey, Jamaica keeping our trials that really allow the persons who want to chase qualification, standard or rankings, and to qualify themselves for the World Championship. And again, had our national championship kept in probably August thereabout, a lot of these athletes would have been tired heading to the World Championship, which I think, fortunately for many of our athletes, they are not tired per se because they're able to compete and get break and recover enough. I do believe that Jamaica's men's team looks good this year, especially with the men's 100 meters and 200 meters as well. You know, we saw Oblique Civil, after years of basically almost begging as fans that, hey, Oblique, when are you going to go over Europe to compete in 2 races over Europe, beating Nawalaz in a 986, 987 as well. He looks good. Kishan Thompson looks the best. Has been competing a lot more this season. I have to give the MVP track club their credit for that because, I've been seeing where Kishan pop out, run fast, go back in and trials and then major championship, so they pretty much look good. Brian Level is one such person, looks good and everything. Men's 200 meters have their own big fear. So let's see, they got run down by Noah Lyles in Zurich and everything. We don't want to see how they will look. But I think if all things being equal, Brian Level could be the man of this meet to surprise us and manage to be on that podium. Would not be a surprise to many of us as avid fans, but you
Right,
never know.
right.
Yeah.
Will be a surprise to them. Definitely, definitely. But Kemal, we will definitely keep in touch because as we get closer to the World Championship, because I want to hear where your medal prediction will be and all of that, all of that. But of course, we'll catch up maybe a week before the World Championship. We'll do definitely our World Championship preview show. But thank you so much for joining us today. As usual, always, always a pleasure. All right.
Yeah, man, anytime.
All right, no problem. All right, that's Kemal Ford talking to us about the Diamond League finals and who made it and who didn't. We're going to go to our second break right here on Sports Talk. When we come back, it's football time.
Recycling partners of Jamaica. Yeah, we got to make a change, and we have to do it now, can't wait for later. We put plastic in its place, and we all can agree that will be safer than in the gullies and in the drains. Recycling partners of Jamaica. We put plastic in its place. Well, I said no matter about your class or status or title, got to be responsible and recycle. Yes, we have talk about plastic buckle boat. You have to make sure say you're the right type. So look for the triangle with the one heart oh. But that don't matter could a yellow or blue. You have to just make sure them empty, collect them plenty, recycling revenue. So listen up Jamaica, I'm saying it's time to make a change. Recycling partners of Jamaica, we put plastic in its place, and we all can agree that we'll decipher. That in the gullies in the every veins. Recycling partners of Jamaica, we put plastic in its place.
Brunswick, tuna the only option. Give me the one thing, no me no want a fraction. Brunswick tuna, morning, night or noon. Me say me ready for the action. Brunswick tuna, they want me plate. Now they eat it for dinner, now they morning for me breakfast. You can have it anytime, anyway, with couple slices of bread or crackers. What's convenient, taste good and affordable. Brunswick tuna, Brunswick love tuna. Me under the pitney in a school. Chunky nice, spicy Thai chili, chunky in water. Brunswick tuna, snacking made easy, snacking made tasty, snacking made healthy.
Get ready for a move of God as the Jamaica Pentecostal Union Apostolic presents Centennial Youth Conference 2019. Holiness Born Again Apostolic.
You are invited to listen to a recording of the Jamaica Association of General Baptist Churches 59th Annual Association, held on Sunday, August 17, under the theme Pursuing Faith in Times of Crisis, with speaker Reverend Christopher Jones. Listen for the service Sunday, August 31 at 12 noon. The program Children's Bible Club will be aired at 10:45 a.m. and Through the Bible with Love immediately after the broadcast. That's the Jamaica Association of General Baptist Churches 59th Annual Association, here on Love 101 FM, the family station.
We're making the markets better for you. In the last financial year, more than $100 million was spent on repairs for Sentence Bay, Ocho Rios, Santa Cruz, and the Yallas markets. We completed phase 1 of the new Buff Bay market, and the final phase will be completed before the end of this year. Alexandria and the Spalding markets are set for rehabilitation in this financial year. The Ministry of Local Government and Community Development is working to modernize our markets, making them more convenient for doing business. Local government is working for you.
All right, welcome back to Sports Talk right here on the family station, Love 101 FM. Now, yesterday, the JFF would have hosted their press conference ahead of the final round of our World Cup qualifying campaign for 2026. Joining us now is Eddie from Eddie Vision TV, as we're going to be talking about what's going on for the squad. The squad announcement was yesterday, but boy, yeah, some interesting news coming out of the squad announcement. Eddie, good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon, Kathya, and good afternoon to your listeners.
All right. First of all, before we even go to the squad, right? What are your initial thoughts, like, for the squad itself, like just looking at it?
Well, just looking at it, I think it's a little bit more balanced compared to the last squad we saw for the Gold Cup. There are a number of new players in the squad, and that's always a benefit. We were expected up to 6 players at one point, but we've seen 3 new players in Ian Frey, Kyle Duncan, and Bailey Kadamartiri. So 3 new additions to this side. The team is much larger, 26 players compared to 23 and 22, which we normally see. Usually we have smaller squads with players that are injured or players that have doubts. So it's good that they have called a much larger squad for us to pick from, so that we won't have to call up players late in the window.
All right, yeah. So let's go through the score because we have a little time to spend some time on this because this is a very important. This is the most important part of this campaign, in getting to this World Cup for 2026. Whether you can't disagree. I mean, not you, but people, you can't disagree because this is where the rubber meets the road. It's either you go now or you stay at your home. You get me? Say? All right,
Right.
so let's go. The goalkeepers: Shaquan Davis, Jamali Wade, Tafari, Chambers. Of course, Andre Blake out still injured, so could not be included in the squad. Defenders: Dexter Lambakisi, or Lambakisa, Kyle Duncan, Damian Lowe, Richard King, Ethan Pinnock, Mason Holgate, Amari Bell, and Greg Lay. The midfielders: Isaac Hayden, Ian Frey, John Russell, Casey Palmer, Karoy Anderson, Jashawn Anglin, and Kevon Lambert. And then, of course, the forward line scene: Kahim Dixon, Demarai Gray, Ronaldo Cephas, Tyrese Campbell, Warner Brown, uh, Bailey, um, Mikel Antonio, Shamar Nicholson. All right. So we know the squad. From your point of view, Eddie, has McLaren left out anybody we think should have been in this squad that would have been available?
Wow. For one, maybe Bobby Reed, the likes of Bobby Reed, Ravel Morrison comes to mind, and also, well, he didn't really have much to pick from, to be honest. I think in terms of availability, maybe the best he could have done. But persons might want to see Hall as well, Tyreek Hall, the youngster. Malik Madasil, I don't know the situation regarding him in terms of paperwork, but
Right.
just to name a few of those type of players, look to be missing. They put out a watch list prior to this squad, and we saw other names on it. We saw the likes of Cameron Archer on it, Rico Henry, Max Aarons. So there are other players that could have been selected, but again, maybe the paperwork. So at the end of the day, we have to just work with this squad.
We'll just have to work with this squad. So you said you think it's a more rounded squad, which I do believe. Coach McLaren spoke about making some mistakes he feels that the management team made over the summer by going into the Unity Cup and then coming to the Gold Cup. And he was saying, in retrospect, he thinks that was too much for the team, and so they suffered from burnout. Do you agree with that, or you just think that we're just getting an excuse because of the poor performance in the World Cup?
Yes, definitely. Because funny enough, that Unity Cup is where we played our best football over the summer, and it was a completely different team going into the World Cup qualifiers and into the Gold Cup. So I don't get where it's coming from with this. Yes, scheduling could have been better, but the game was very important for Jamaica in terms of financially. We make a nice little money from that match. We got to see some new faces also in that game. So I thought that at the end of the day, that game worked out well. We got to test ourselves against better opposition in the likes of Nigeria. So I don't really buy his argument. Totally different team that played the Unity Cup, the World Cup qualifiers, and the Gold Cup.
Yeah. All right. So, because I mean, I was in shock that he even said that. I mean, I don't know if nobody really asked. I mean, nobody asked. I'm not sure how we kind of got to the point that you needed to provide an excuse. We just had a poor showing in the Gold Cup. That was due to part on his part, poor coaching, at some decisions I thought were very shaky decisions that he made. But I mean, nobody never asked. Really, we never asked him, but he
Right.
came and volunteered that information. It took me off guard because I'm like, why are you volunteering this information, sir? Thanks, no thanks. All right, in terms of, I want to talk about before, because I mean, at the next side of the break, when we do take our final break, we're gonna go into the whole Mason Greenwood saga. But before we go there, I want to talk about just focusing now on the forward line. but especially zooming in on Mikel Antonio and some of the things that Coach McLaren would have said about Mikel Antonio yesterday. He used words like committed to the team. He used words to say, he's hoping that he gets a team so he can be, get game time. He's important to the team, he's important to the dressing room. Sort of, that type of presence that we need around the team. Do you read do you I mean, I know, Mikel has been through, his accident. He's now been dropped by West Ham, trying to find another team. But do you think we really need Mikel Antonio around? Like, is he that important to our dressing room?
To be honest, no. I think we have good quality leadership in this squad in Damian Lowe, which is a vice captain, Isaac Hayden, we have Amari Bell. We have players that can contribute in the dressing room. And for me, I think the inclusion of Mikel Antonio is pretty much is like a glorified cheerleader in this team. To be honest, I think he's just taking up a spot. He's now commenting with TNT, so he's now a pundit over there in England, and not playing a games any at all. Maybe 1 and 2 practice games with the U team for West Ham, but he's not in competitive football. Right, he's not in competitive football, and I don't think he should be anywhere near this squad.
I just think it's a missed opportunity to maybe, in my opinion, I don't know what his status is. I mean, he's played 2 games, scored 2 goals now, only playing 45 minutes in the games, having coming from an injury. But I think this would have been a perfect opportunity for like somebody like Dujon Richards to come back into the squad. I don't know. That is my opinion. We obviously he wouldn't get a full game, but I think having coming back from an injury, I would have given him a shot in this squad to see where he's at. And because really and truly we need somebody in front of goal who, having now created all these chances, somebody who wants to score all the time. And I think Dujon Richards gives that type. He is that type of player that you can depend on to score goals once, he's okay. I mean, and as I said, he's coming back from injury, but I don't know. I have a question mark myself too, Eddie, about the inclusion of Mikel Antonio into the squad. I don't know. I can't agree with it. I heard the reasons by Coach McLaren yesterday, and trust me, I am like, okay, this sounded like the excuse you just gave me why we did poorly in the World Cup is why you included Mikel Antonio. Trust me, both of them kind of on the same wavelength. I'm like, no, okay, I understand. No, but I don't understand, because this is the most important part of the campaign. This is not time for us to be guest spelling, hopscotching, jumping type of thing. This is where it gets important. If we do not, then we will not. And
Right.
I'm just very, very concerned, very concerned. But I always say let them surprise us. But yeah, before we go to the break, the last time Shamar Nicholson said, he wasn't fit enough to be in the squad. Now he's back in the squad. What do you expect from him?
Well, I expect him to come back and hopefully make a difference. I heard a stat the other day. Don't quote me on this one, but I think against Caribbean opposition, 14 goals in 19 appearances, something like that. So the coaching staff is banking on his experience playing in CONCACAF, especially against Caribbean teams. So we expect, and based on how he got dropped, I think he has something to prove coming back into this Reggae Boys team.
Definitely. All right, Eddie, stay with us. We're gonna go for our final break right here on Sports Talk. But when we come back, we're still talking about the Reggae Boys team, the squad itself, and then we will look forward to the first game in the final round of our World Cup qualifiers. We'll be right back.
The following is a paid announcement by the Jamaica Labour Party.
Transforming care across the nation. The Jamaica Labour Party is doing more for your health. We have expanded NHF benefits and filled over 3 million prescriptions. Free checks and new subsidies for tests. We are making care more accessible. Plus, 138 health centers repaired and major hospitals under construction. Choose a healthier Jamaica. Put your X beside the bell.
The proceeding was a paid announcement by the Jamaica Labour Party.
The following is paid for by the People's National Party.
The people of Jamaica are clamoring for change. This manifesto is our plan for a new chapter.
Our manifesto speaks to justice for all. At the very top of our agenda will be constitutional reform.
There will be a comprehensive review of how we fund the Ministry of Health.
We will invest in the creative industry, establishing a $1 billion creative economy fund.
Like a Higgler in St. Elizabeth, toys and carries our goods to Kingston better. Moscow.
For the young homeowners,
a $500,000 grant.
We will modernize our public institutions and rebuild trust in government. The People's National Party is ready for the mission ahead.
So, comrades, the word is love.
The word is love. Let us take this journey together.
The proceeding was paid for by the People's National Party.
One hope, one faith.
You are invited to listen to a recording of the Jamaica Association of General Baptist Churches 59th Annual Association, held on Sunday, August 17, under the theme Pursuing Faith in Times of Crisis, with speaker Reverend Christopher Jones. Listen for the service Sunday, August 31 at 12 noon. The program Children's Bible Club will be aired at 10:45 a.m. and Through the Bible with Love immediately after the broadcast. That's the Jamaica Association of General Baptist Churches 59th Annual Association, here on Love 101 FM, the family station.
We're in the hurricane season and the hottest time of the year. But no worries, Lanco has you covered. By the way, you're covered with Lanco Cool Guard or Urethanizer roof coating yet? Use Lanco roof coatings to waterproof your roof and also benefit from a cooler home with our advanced Thermoflex technology. Get 10 to 20% discount on Lanco Urethanizer and Cool Guard roof coating island-wide this hurricane season. Lanco, your waterproofing expert.
The End Period Poverty campaign, sponsored by Always, is here. Help us change the reality of our girls who don't have access to period products. From August 1 to September 30, for every pack of Always products you purchase, we donate a pad to girls in need. So go to your local supermarket and help our girls have access to period products.
Did you know that the Ministry of Local Government and Community Development has 9 shelters across the island with plans of building 14 more? From Kingston to St. James, there are several places for the most vulnerable to call home. From our 24-hour transitional and drop-in centers to our night shelters, there is always a roof and warm meal waiting for you. We are here to help you rehabilitate and reintegrate. The government pledges its continued commitment to helping our most vulnerable. Contact your municipal corporation if you or anyone you know might need to use the shelter. Local government is working for you.
All right, welcome back to Sports Talk right here on the family station, Love 101 FM. Still with us online is Eddie from Eddie Vision TV, and then we have Tajay Brown on the line. Tajay, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right, fantastic. Eddie, you're still here.
Yes, I am.
Fantastic. Tajay, before we got a chance to connect with you, Eddie was giving me his thoughts on the squad overall. I'll ask you the same question. What's your thought on the squad overall?
My thoughts on the squad overall is intermingled with my thoughts on the whole group phase in terms of the opponents that we face. So I say, given the opponents that we face and the makeup of the squad, I think it's a pretty decent squad, minus a couple persons that aren't able to be there simply because of injury, like Leon Bailey. They would have Lucky Bodier, the keeper Andre Blake, right? So these are persons I think would have helped, but they for one for reason like they were injured, so they weren't able. So they weren't able to
be a
be
part of
there.
the squad this time. All right.
Yeah.
Anybody you well other than
But
those who are injured, anybody else who you think
yes,
should
there is.
have
I think Mikel Antonio. Respect him for his commitment to the team, and out of all the players that have been called to the team and have been selected from time to time, he's not one that he's always one of those players that we could rely on. But given the accident that he was in and the last time he would have played consecutive matches, not for Jamaica, I think he should have been one that should have been sat out of this one. I'm not saying if we qualify, don't pick him, but at this point in time, he's not with a club. The last time I saw him play, he was playing for the U21s. My opinion on that doesn't change in terms of he don't have a club, so just try to secure a club. Why come and play for Jamaica at this point in time? And we don't even know if he will have a club at that point in time, right? So for me, I think he would have been the spot that I thought they could have freed up for the likes of a Trivante Stewart, who they took an up chance on him before when he was playing in Jamaica, leading goal scorer for the JPL. He came in, he played a game against Canada, never really looked good, had a poor game. But every player that has played for Jamaica has had a poor game. You can't just use one game and write off a player. And for me, Kathya, it seems as if they have used one game. They have used a couple of times that this guy has played for Jamaica. Limited minutes at that and written him off because after that he went to Serbia. He scored a number of goals, was prolific in Serbia, got bought by Maccabi Haifa in Israel for a record fee from the Serbian club that he was at. They bought him for 1.5 million euros, which is the highest that club has sold a player. So he set a record for that club in terms of transfer fee. That simply means that he's doing something. He was doing something over there. He scored 13 goals, 4 assists. He also stopped that team from falling into relegation because they were in the relegation zone, battling to not be relegated, and he scored a number of goals, keeping them up in the league before he left.
Yeah.
So for me, when a player is performing like that, and he has scored already since he's been in Israel, so that means that he's on form. When a player is performing like that, I don't see any reason as to why he's not able to get into the squad.
Yeah. I agree. I think Eddie and I were talking about it before. I don't think that Mikel Antonio should have been in the squad, but beyond that, before we get to the game, because we only have a few minutes left, but before we get to the game, this whole issue now, after we hoped up, come down, then we were okay that Mason Green was gonna join, and then this young man is gonna say to us that he's not ready to commit to playing. I mean, what are your thoughts, Eddie? Let me start with you on that.
Wow, totally. Well, I wouldn't say surprised because I got a heads up. Well, Jamaica got a heads up from Rudolph Speed. He came on radio maybe a month ago and said that somebody asked him what was the situation with Mason Greenwood. He said that Mason Greenwood had everything to play, but he didn't think that Mason Greenwood would be playing. So I kind of figured something was wrong at that point. Now seeing this squad with no Mason Greenwood, I'm not really surprised. I'm disappointed, yes. I'm sad, yes, because we had high expectations of this player coming in and saving the Jamaica team and pouring us to our second World Cup. And to hear that he's not considering Jamaica at this time, it's not what we were expecting, Kathya. And it's difficult to take. It's very difficult to take. But I don't know, maybe in the future, we have to wait and see. Maybe in the future he has a change of mind. At this point, we have to just move on from Mason Greenwood.
Yeah, definitely. Teje, your thoughts?
I'm a bit disappointed because as you stated before, the president came out, Mason had everything, and he's ready, and I think it was up to the coach. That was what the president said. Based on the coach's responses, it seemed like the coach was saying he wanted him to be a part of this camp. So I'm assuming the coach would have called him and said, Mason, listen, I'm going to select you. But then Mason says, I'm not willing to commit to anybody at this point in time after consulting with my family. And it kind of hurt because you're saying a lot of people keep saying the players wants to play for Jamaica, right? We have diaspora players in the squad, and a lot of times it's been said the players want to play for Jamaica. The players want to play for Jamaica. It's this process, the process. And that the process I'm talking about is acquiring the passport, the citizenship and the passport and the documentation to play. But to hear this now of a player that people says wants to play for Jamaica, what is it that can be stopping you from playing for Jamaica? I'm not sure if it is England, because is there a slither of hope that you will be playing for England? I don't think so. I don't think there is any hope. Maybe it can be because we live in a real world and there's a possibility. Anything is possible. But I think that is -1. And during that period when a lot of persons were bashing and saying a lot of other things, I think a lot of Jamaican fans stood up for the player and say, no, I guess based on the fact that he's a quality player and they just want to really see him play. But as I said before, it's one of the more disappointing things for me. And upon events appointing Mr. Speed as a technical advisor, I thought, like for me, this was one of the things that I was optimistic of, because I don't really see anything changed within the squad. Because before Rudolph Speed, there was Mikel Antonio when he came back from the accident. After Rudolph Speed, there's Mikel Antonio. So I don't see what this person is. I don't know what his capacity is or what he's doing, because my main thing would have said, forget to get the likes of Mason Greenwood in the team. But I guess if
and that has not happened.
And
Speed can get him, and he said him family said so.
Exactly.
At this point,
So
I'm just putting that to rest. I'm done. I'm literally just. If he comes, he comes, and if he doesn't, if he comes eventually, he comes, and if he doesn't, I've closed my mind now and I've forgotten about it. And I'm done with it. Anyway,
but that's why to me, in terms of appointing a technical advisor, I thought they would have went for somebody else. In terms of if, for example, our aim was, when they brought in McLaren, our aim was to secure quality players from the diaspora, right? That's what the aim.
Yeah.
So I thought that you're going to say, okay, McLaren is here. They're trying to select quality players, but you need another person to fill the gap. Maybe if you had hired another advisor who would have possibly been somebody off in terms of the international football space. I'm not saying Mr. Speed is not of great repute, but I'm just saying if somebody has a greater standing or stature in the international
space, maybe they'll be able to convince him.
But we don't know.
We don't know. We're just
making up everything because we want the player to play.
Yeah.
But it's kind of disappointing.
All right, with less than a minute to go, or just about a minute to go, you guys have 30 seconds each. First game against Bermuda in Bermuda on Friday. Eddie, your thoughts?
Well, must win. We need those 3 points. We're up against 162 rank Bermuda, with players that pretty much play in the Bermuda League and in the USA lower leagues. We have the better quality players. We have the experience, which would get the job done. We have better coaching.
All right, Tajay, your thoughts?
Yeah, as I said, every game in this window, I think, is a must-win until we qualify. So if it is game number 4 after which we qualify, then that's a day. But every game until we hear that Jamaica has qualified for the 2026 World Cup is a must-win. And we start with this game. And I feel like the squad that we have, the acquisition of Kyle Duncan, which I think is an excellent pickup, is the record assist person for as a defender for his MLS team in New York Red Bulls. So that is one of the players that we will have as a defender who is also attacking minded. And I think we have had trouble at the right back position for a while, given Dexter's dipping form. So for me, the squad and the makeup of the squad, the experience, everything in me is saying we have a better team, we have better quality players, and I think we have a quality coaching unit.
To secure our first victory on Friday. All right, gentlemen, thank you so much. Of course, I'll catch up with you next week ahead of the Trinidad match and reviewing the Bermuda match. Thank you so much for always passing through on Sports Talk. This has been Sports Talk right here on the Family Station. We do this every Saturday between the hours of 1 to 2 p.m. And we are now, or you are now, invited to listen to the program Heralds of Hope, brought to you by the Central Conference of Seventh-day Adventist Church. And I hope that you will be blessed by this program.